Dream a little dream of me. Welcome kindreds, it's Jessica TheStoryWitch and I wanted to show you my bullet journal setup for June. I've gone with a sun theme, as is probably quite obvious. I included this gorgeous poem, Sun Worshipper, for Odawewe, which is from last year's wee moon diary was, hang on, I've got it here actually. The theme was fanning the flame, and so it was very useful for this particular setup because it's got lots and lots of solar and imagery in it, which I've used quite a lot through this. This is also out of there. This little picture is also out of there. This little sunstruck poem is out of there. I believe this might also even be out of there. So a lot of that has come, a lot of the ephemera has come from here. So it's June, it's Meet My Heaven, it is my birthday month, and it's obviously the solstice, which is one of the other reasons why I use the sun theme. I'm also working with sun solar energy a lot myself at the moment, so it seemed very appropriate. And then I've got my calendar set up. Use the same sort of washies and things to kind of tie it all in. It's kind of all yellow and black. I've got my card for this month, which is the 5 of Wands. That's from the Mary L deck. 5 of Wands, also fiery kind of energy fitting in with the sun theme too. The stones I'm working with this month, the tiger's eye, carnelian and sunstone. And the plants are rose, elderflower I'm going to be working with, and St. John's wort, obviously elderflower because that's the time of year. Where I am in Wales, the elderflowers are out now already. I haven't filled very much in on my calendar yet. I've just done my kind of full moon, new moon and quarter moons and things on there. Mercury does go retrograde this month. We've got lots of other planets retrograde as well, but I haven't marked all of those on. So it's kind of very simple. I've added a few little sun doodles and things like that onto it. I had ordered some stickers from Etsy, but they didn't come in time for me to use them in my spread this time. So I might add them afterwards. And then this page is kind of what's up this month, so the planets and the astrology and what is going on in the sky kind of more generally for everybody this month. And I've added some info on the solstice as well, because this is kind of the astrological info from the solstice as well. Kind of there is a chart. This is out of the Astrocal moon diary. And there is a chart for the solstice. They include charts for all of the major, there's the equinox chart. So I can quickly find the solstice chart. It should be around here somewhere. Yeah, so they include charts for each of the major turning points of the wheel as well, which is really handy. So I've left that in here for now. I might put that in when it comes to the actual day of the solstice. So that's just a little bit about that. Another gorgeous learning solar power poem, which is out of an artwork, which is out of the wee moon from last year's wee moon. And then instead of a field guide, I went with a craft work page, which is kind of like my funny idea. I thought it was funny. I'm not sure anyone else will. Craft work, just because it's my work in the craft, and like they were a band when I was a kid and I enjoyed them. So yeah, it is what it is. Another picture out of the wee moon. I'm going to be making some St. John's wort oil. These pictures and this are printed off using the sprocket, which I've talked about in previous videos as well. So they're just little printed pictures. I'm going to be making some elderflower champagne. I'm probably going to do that this week, so I've got it ready for the solstice, because it takes a little while for it to brew and to kind of carbonate. The full moon, new moon, there's some personal astrology stuff which I want to work with. Like I said, making the St. John's wort oil as well. So yeah, red tent too, all good stuff. And then my to-do, my might do, and what's happening in July. I haven't filled anything in on there yet. This is a little bit wrinkly, which is a little bit sad because my Pritt stick ran out, and in the sort of vein of not wanting to be using disposable stuff too much, I'm gonna use, we use, you know, me and the kids use quite a lot of like PVA glue. So instead of using the Pritt stick, which means you've got the whole kind of plastic shaft of it all and everything afterwards, with the PVA glue you just buy it in like a massive container, and then you can use what you need and get rid of the stuff you don't need. So I figured that was the more kind of eco-friendly, and I've got a little spreader, a little glue spreader, but I obviously didn't do a particularly good job of it there because it's a little bit wrinkly, but you know, it's worth it. A few wrinkles in my journal are nothing to, you know, the cost of the environment. So, and then my habit tracker, which I thought was kind of cute. Just on one page, I wanted to change it up a little bit, and I've separated it out into different sections to do with like my morning routine, evening routine, things I do with the kids, health, and my Welsh language learning and stuff. So I'm just going to colour little dots. So I'm hopeful. I'm going to use a different, these are the pens that I use for all of this setup. 2 Tombows in different colours. 62 is the lighter yellow, and then 26 is the more golden yellow, this yellow. So that's the 62, this is the 26. And I'm going to use the lighter one then to do like little dots in these when I've completed those. So it's not going to be really super specific. I'm not going to know like which days I've done certain things, but I'll be able to see by the general accumulation of dots how well I've been doing on my habits, and I think that's good enough. So that is that. And then these are my dailies. I'm continuing the same. If you saw that my last month is very, very similar. I'm drawing, I just use one of the washies to do like a little circle, and then colouring for the moon, so it's obviously moving towards full moon here on the 5th. I've started on the 2nd because I had enough room to put the 1st of June in with my May spread, so that's already kind of taken care of, so that's where I started there. It is my birthday on Thursday, and I've included some extra stuff which is kind of birthday specific. So a happy birthday tarot spread. I always like to do a tarot spread on my birthday for like what's coming up and what I'm kind of leaving behind in the year. And this is kind of adapted from Beth, the Little Red Tarot. She shares a tarot spread, a birthday tarot spread over on there. If you just type in Little Red Tarot birthday spread, you'll be able to find it. And this is basically the spread and the questions, and then I'll just journal down here what came out. And I haven't filled this in yet because it's not my birthday yet. I will do it on the actual day. I may also take a photograph of the spread, I think, and stick it in here. And if there's not enough space to write, which there probably won't be, I'll just use like an extra piece of paper and make a little hinge like I have done, you know, with these extra pieces and stuff, to add extra info that will flop out then there. So I find that's better than leaving space. I find when I leave space, you never really know exactly how much to leave, and then it can end up getting, I prefer it with it kind of layered in on top rather than leaving space and then having to kind of go back and fill it and try and estimate how much you need and stuff like that. So, you know, you may find different. That's just me. And then this, a bit of this is a little bit private. This is my kind of like what's coming up for next year for me, astrologically wise, and mainly astrology, but also like numerology, my cards and stuff. I included this Home Fires Burn, which is out the wee moon, because I really loved it. It talks about being a fire keeper, a woman of the flame. Like I said, I'm working with that kind of solar energy at the moment, so that feels really, really powerful to me at the moment. And then this is the kind of private bit. This is my solar return chart, and it's kind of layers onto my birth chart. So I've done a little bit of interpretation of that. So I'm not going to show that in full, but I have just done some little notes and things in case you want to do something like this for your birthday. So 2020 for all of us has the energy of 4, because if you had 2020, you get 4, which is the Emperor archetype, which is the overriding archetype for this year, for 2020, which, considering the events and things that have panned out, seems kind of appropriate. But then if I add my own personal birth date onto that, which is the 4th of June, 4 and 6, then you get 10, but which can also reduce down to 1. So if I use 10 and add it to 4, that gives me 14, which gives me temperance. There's lots of different ways of working this out. This is the way that Mary Greer tends to do it in the Tarot for Yourself book. So this is kind of the way that I'm used to and I tend to use. I like to reduce each strand individually. So I reduce the day, the month and the year individually, then add them together. So you can get, sometimes it works out the same, but sometimes it works out differently. So, you know, play around with it and have a read up on the different methods of doing it. So basically what this gives me is 2 cards, which are my cards for the year going forward. Temperance is kind of my main card, but obviously with 14, if you cancel it down even further, that'll take me down to 5, which is kind of the underlying energy of the year. So, which gives me the Hierophant. So I've got Temperance, the Hierophant. I haven't made notes on these here. That's something that I will do as I go through the year. But I just took photos of 3 different decks: the Astara, the Mary L, and the Radiant Rider-Waite. just to give me some like different versions of the imagery to be looking at. The different kind of the similarities and differences I find with the different decks can be really helpful for seeing ways into those cards. I find that really useful, so I wanted to kind of layer that in there. And then just some of my astrology. Mars is going to be my time lord for next year, 7th house, and so it's probably going to be a year where relationship stuff is emphasized. There's some kind of tricky stuff for me coming up from an astrological point of view, so I'll let you know how I get on. and yeah, just a little picture and stuff. I will journal a little bit more on here as well, but I won't journal about the cards and stuff here. That's something that I'll just flip over and do as I go along. So let me just show you from the beginning. That is my overall setup for June, and I'm really happy with it. I did have a few smudge issues at the start, but I've covered them up as best I can, and I actually really love how it turned out. It feels really vibrant and really kind of sunny, and it was the energy that I was going for. So yeah, I am really happy with it, and I'm excited for filling in some of the things about my birthday and stuff like that. So I hope you enjoyed having a little look at my journal. Let me know what you think, and I will speak to you very soon. Warmest blessings, guys. Take care.